I am a firm believer in castle doctrine, right? I believe that if someone breaks into your house without your permission, comes inside your property, you've no idea what that person's intentions are, I think, rat-ta-ta-ta-ta, that's the way I feel this should be approached, right? So, firm believer in castle doctrine, firm believer of stand your ground, firm believer of all those things. However, hold on, I need to move this because haven't formatted the website. Man jailed for raping masked intruder and home. That's not funny. A Melbourne man who overpowered and raped an intruder will spend at least 4 years in prison. Right now, wait to hear it. 4 years, but wait for it. Clay Holland, 32, faced the Supreme Court of Victoria on Tuesday when he was sentenced to 8 years imprisonment with a non parole period of 4 years and 10 months. Holland's victim, Shane Cox, had broken into a unit in Melton in Melbourne's West in March 2021, armed with a knife and wearing a mask, obviously. A very dangerous intruder. He had asked for money and drugs and was allegedly linked to others who had gone to the home to stand over a resident. For those who don't know, stand over in Australian lingo basically just means to rob someone. Mr. Cox, 36, who was high on methamphetamine, was overpowered by Holland, who was a guest at the home. Mr. Cox was beaten with a baseball bat and was incapacitated on the floor, where Holland then raped him. His body was found at the scene under a pile of blankets a day later by police, who arrived at the property on an unrelated matter. He was hog-tied, his mouth was duct-taped, and his pants were pulled down to his upper thighs. So when they say body, he died. The guy died, right? So maybe it was from the baseball bat, maybe it was from a drug overdose. We don't have the details of that here. But the guy died, and the guy is only going to serve about 4 and a bit years for doing that. In March, a jury convicted Holland of one charge of rape, but he was found not guilty of manslaughter. Justice, God damn, he had a good lawyer. Holy shit. Justice Christopher Beale described Holland's offending as premeditated and particularly humiliating. Your rape of Mr. Cox was a callous, degrading, and humiliating act of retribution, Justice Beale said. Holland's mental impairment, time in prison during the pandemic, and separation from his 3 young children were all taken into consideration for sentencing. I don't know, there's 1-800, respect. Even though it's for a national sexual abuse hotline, like, respect. Right. Now, when I say I'm a firm believer in stand your ground and castle doctrine, I believe you're allowed to use violence to neutralise the threat. I think that once the threat is neutralised, then that's when you stop. I think anything beyond that point is torture. Right, you're getting a little you're making the Geneva Convention real nervous, right? That type of thing. I think if the threat is neutralized, then that's it. Sometimes the threat might look like it gives up, but then it tries to run away or tries to get you and take your gun and all that. Then you put the threat down again. Basically, you use violence to neutralize the threat. But I think if someone breaks into your house and you're like on ice, and then you capture them and keep them in your basement for 3 years, then it's not exactly castle doctrine. I mean, we could all go along with the meme and go, you know the rules, and so do I, right? But now, so castle doctrine, yes, neutralise the threat. Anything beyond neutralising the threat, then you're kind of being just a little bit of a sick person. Now, this on the other hand, this is extreme. But one thing, right, I don't support this. See if the guy fought back with a weapon or shot the guy or done something like that, fine, neutralise the threat. That's no problem. Not use him as a fuck toy for 24 hours to the point where he fucking dies. Like, maybe don't do that. Maybe not. But one thing is, see when this guy Clay Holland, when he gets out of prison, no one will ever fuck with him again. No, no one. Like, I'll admit, I don't fancy myself as a hard man, right? I'm not a hard man, but I do think that there's men who I'm not afraid to fuck with because I know I'll be able to handle myself if shit goes down. If there's a man I know who literally raped a man to death, I'm I am not messing with that man.